Tucked away in one of Indiana's hidden valleys, you'll find two treasures from the past: Adams Mill and Adams-Mill Bridge. Just off State Road 75 near the small town of Cutler in Carroll County, Adams-Mill Valley is a special place preserved from a simpler time. In 1831, John Adams, an accomplished miller from Pennsylvania, walked east from Lafayette following Wildcat Creek in search of the best location for water-powered mills. The mill we know as Adams Mill today is the second grist mill John Adams built here. It dates from 1845. The four-story timber frame building is held together by strong mortise and tenon joints, secured with wooden pegs. Though the ownership and name of the mill has changed many times through the years, it is best known today by the name of its founder. Adams Mill is powered by water from nearby Wildcat Creek. A dam on the creek holds back water to run the mill. When the head gate, just upstream of the dam, is opened, water flows through the mill race, a small man-made stream that runs underneath the mill. As the water level rises in the mill race, the hydraulic turbine, a small water wheel turned on its side, begins to turn as the rushing water pushes against it. A control wheel on the first floor of the mill determines how fast the 40 horsepower turbine will spin. The faster the turbine water wheel spins, the faster the shafts, belts, and machines inside will go. Grain is moved through the mill and ground into meal or flour, all by the power from the turbine. Don't be fooled by the big water wheel outside. This mill never had one of those. Adams Mill is one of the most complete original grist mills, or mills that grind grain, in the United States. For over 100 years, area farmers brought their grain here to be ground into meal and flour for baking, or into feed for livestock. They would unload the grain at ground level at the front of the mill, dumping it into a hopper with a chute that led down to the lower level. The grain fell into the waiting elevator belt below with hundreds of small scoops that carried the grain up to the higher floors of the mill building. There it would be dumped into machines that cleaned it and ground it up into cornmeal or wheat flour. Corn went to the second floor, where it was dropped into this machine and ground between two large stone wheels called burr stones. Wheat, oats, and other smaller grains were carried by the elevator belts to the fourth and third floors, where it was cleaned, then dropped down to the second floor, where it was ground into flour in machines known as rollers. Two cast iron cylinders inside these machines ground the small grain as it fell between them. Roller machines were installed in this mill in 1887, replacing two sets of millstones. Corn continued to be ground by burr stones throughout the mill's operation. The Adams Mill tour begins on the first floor, where the miller's corner office was located. Be sure to take a look at the diagonal chimney that the stovepipe connects with. This chimney was designed to make sparks from the stove burn out quickly on their way up, so that there would be little danger of fire in the dry, dusty mill. You'll notice several horse-drawn vehicles on the first floor, along with other historic objects, like a loom for weaving, and tools used by blacksmiths and carpenters many years ago. When the mill was operating, the areas now filled with antiques were used to store cornmeal and flour. You'll also notice the big main drive shafts near the center of the building. This gear transfers the power from the turbine shaft, connected to the turbine wheel in the mill race, to the horizontal main drive shafts, also known as line shafts. If you go up the stairs, keep in mind all of the stairs were removable in the days when the mill was operating. The stairs were taken out whenever a large milling machine had to be lowered down from above or hauled up from below. On the second floor, you'll find the circular millstone corn grinder. Each of the two millstones inside weigh 1,000 pounds. You'll also notice the rollers on the second floor, where wheat was ground into flour. Nearby, the hand-operated bagging machines once filled sacks of flour and cornmeal. Historic farming artifacts like horse-drawn plows, cultivators, a mechanical reaping machine, and hand-cranked corn shellers and grain fanning mills are also located here. From 1850 to 1864, the Wildcat Post Office was located in a room on the second floor. A one-room school and a Masonic lodge were once found on the third floor of the mill in the 1860s. During the 1863 school year, the Wildcat postmaster, Mrs. Rankin, taught local young scholars in this room. The original podium of Masonic Lodge number 311 is still here. The lodge was founded in 1864. Its members met in this room for 3 years. Visitors on the third floor will also encounter grain sifters and dusters, and even more original antiques, such as leatherworking benches, early washing machines, and an apple cider press. The last flight of stairs leads to the top floor, where more grain cleaners are located. Just a short walk away, the 1872 Adams-Mill-Covered Bridge spans the creek. Built originally with a Howe truss design, with wrought iron vertical tie rods between supporting timbers, 2 wooden arches were added sometime later for additional strength. The bridge rests on rare cast iron abutments, unlike most covered bridge foundations made of cut limestone. In 1974, the bridge was closed to traffic, and for the next 25 years, it fell into disrepair, a target of the elements and vandals. Fortunately, a local movement to save the bridge began. The Friends of Adams Mill Valley led the fund drive for the restoration of Adams Mill Bridge, and the $686,000 project was completed in 1999. The settlement that sprang up around Adams Mill in the 1830s was originally named Bolivar. However, the name Bolivar never quite caught on. Instead, the village that grew in this little valley took its name from the creek that flows within it, Wildcat. The mill was the center of this thriving grain-fed Hoosier community. Wildcat grew to include a blacksmith, woodworker, general store, and several houses. The community flourished until the 1870s, when the Terre Haute and Logansport Railroad bypassed the valley. Most of the residents and businesses of Wildcat relocated a mile west to be close to the railroad tracks, causing the town of Cutler to become the new commercial center. Adams Mill continued to serve valley residents by grinding grain, and in 1912 by bringing the first electrical power to the area. A generator hooked to the mill's line shaft provided electricity to nearby towns such as Cutler, Sedalia, Rossville, and Burlington. The mill became well known for its high-quality flour and cornmeal that was sold in stores throughout central Indiana. By the 1940s, it was producing 200 pounds of flour per hour and supplied 11 area bakeries with very fine cake flour. One company even placed a single order for 16 tons of cornmeal. In 1951, a new state law required all mills producing flour for human consumption be entirely free of rodents. Such extensive remodeling was not affordable, so after more than 100 years of operation, the mill went silent. Unlike most gristmill owners at the time, Claude Sheets saw a window of opportunity. He turned his mill into a time capsule testament to a bygone era. Sheets had purchased the mill in 1940 and enjoyed a successful business grinding grain until the operation was forced to close. Then he began filling the empty storage areas of the mill with antiques instead of meal and flour. Visitors were soon welcome to explore the interior of the mill on weekends. Adams Mill was purchased by Mark Scherer in 1992. Mr. Scherer maintains the structure today with the help of the Friends of Adams Mill Valley. In addition to helping with the continual preservation needs of the mill and bridge, this all-volunteer group opens the mill to the public every weekend from early May through late October. The volunteers serve as tour guides and demonstrate the millworks to visitors. Adams Mill is a rare gem on the National Register of Historic Places. It is one of the most complete original grist mills preserved in the United States. Those who tour the mill find themselves immersed in history. An ample parking area, beautiful tree-covered picnic grounds, and a short hiking trail from the mill to the bridge are all waiting for you. Be sure to walk or drive through the remarkable covered bridge and examine the unusual truss combination. Enjoy a great view of Wildcat Creek from the bridge or from along the banks of this picturesque stream. There's a great public access point near the dam for fishing or canoeing. Adams Mill Valley is an invaluable Indiana treasure. We invite you to visit again and again to help us preserve and protect this special place from the past.